We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us.
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous. Hi.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Mm-hmm. That's
Hello.
it. That's all. That's. Are you saying hello to me?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
hi.
you're the only other person here besides me. Unless you've got some surprise guest lined up that I could also be talking to, because I don't. So
Nope.
then who else? Who would I be talking to? I suppose the listeners.
Yeah, they're.
Hello. Welcome to High School Famous, the podcast where we will probably talk about high school, but hopefully we will not. My name is Sean.
My name's Matt.
Today, I don't know, Matt. I don't know about today.
I don't know about today either. It's today. It's the last episode of August.
Correct.
It's a nice day outside.
Correct. Depending on where you are, but for the both
Depending
of
on
us,
where you are.
for the
Yep.
both of us, yes, it's a nice day.
Mm-hmm. Other than that, it's just a normal Sunday.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How about a dad joke?
Should we?
I mean, let's get this party started.
Yeah. What a party.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, what's the minimum number of guests or attendees for it to be considered a party? 4?
It depends on what you're talking about.
Okay.
Because if it's like for a restaurant,
Party of 1 you could even have.
yeah, it could be a party of one.
But I'm talking, a social, like my parents are out of town.
I mean, 4 seems like a pretty lame party.
It does, right?
If anything, it's just like, hey, let's hang. How about us 4 hang out at my house? That's a hangout. That's not a party.
10?
Yeah, maybe double digits. Yeah.
So we are not going to get this. We're going to get this hang started.
That's a weird way to word it. That doesn't sound good. Let's get this hanging started.
Let's start this hanging. Let's string it up. Let's string up this podcast. Let's lynch this podcast.
All right. New topic.
All right. Hey, this joke comes to us from August 23rd. I got hired as a security guard, and my boss told me that it was my job to watch The Office. I'm on season 8, and I still can't figure out what this has to do with security.
Meanwhile, I turned around and realized I was guarding nothing.
Yeah, I was outside. I was in a field.
Getting a party started.
Getting ready for a lynching.
Now, let's not keep saying that.
Getting ready for a big swing and hang.
Oh God! When the listeners, any listeners out there, if you send us any sort of email based on what Sean's talking about currently, make sure you specify Sean in the email and be very specific that I had nothing to do with him continuously saying the word lynching.
I'm not worried.
Moving on. So, I actually got out and did something for once.
No.
Yeah. I was invited out to a Major League Baseball game on Friday.
Wow. What team? What
I went
team
and saw
or teams?
The Chicago White Sox play the Oakland A's.
Very good.
The game was just awful as far as the Sox are concerned. They got completely destroyed. Yeah, it was, I think, 12-4.
Oh, my goodness.
It was a rough game. But we got there a little late, and when we got there, it was already 6-3, I think.
Oh, you didn't even get there at the beginning of the game?
No, because was with everybody was just kind of, we met up at a person's apartment first to just kind of hang out and get everybody gathered there before we went. And we just hung out there for longer than we needed to. I don't think they were worried about getting to the game on time.
You think it would have been more fun had you guys not gone to the game and just kind of stayed there?
No, I think it would have been, I think it was still enjoyable going to the game. Like, it wasn't enjoyable. It was just a terrible game.
Terrible on one side. It was a good game for the A's. So if you're not,
a good game for the A's.
Would you consider yourself? Were you rooting for the White Sox just because of where you live?
I mean, I think it probably would have been more entertaining had the Sox been winning, or at least it had been a close game, because then the crowd probably would have been more super into it, and like it would have been a little bit more rowdy probably, and maybe seemed like a better time. But yeah, I mean, mostly we just sat there and we're like chatting amongst ourselves the entire time, not really paying attention to the game much at all, until like all of a sudden the crowd would start like cheering that something happened, and we're like, oh, okay. Like, one guy got completely beamed in the head by the pitcher.
Oh man!
And yeah, so that got a response. There was at least one home run by the Sox that got some cheers, and then the fireworks went off and all that kind of stuff. But the pull for the game was there was a concert after the game. So game ends and everybody's sitting there waiting, and they start, wheeling out the barricades and stuff so they can start setting up the stage or whatever they're going to do on the field.
Yeah.
For the Vanilla Ice concert that was to be performed after the game.
Vanilla Ice?
Yeah, so we're like some people were like, oh, let's just go. Let's not stay for the concert. And the rest of us were like, let's just at least stay for a few songs. Like, we don't have to stay for the whole thing, but you got to have that thing saying, hey, I saw Vanilla Ice in concert in 2023.
Right.
Of all times, like 30 years later than I should have seen Vanilla Ice in concert.
Well, to be fair, there's probably never a time that you should have seen Vanilla Ice in concert.
Well, yeah. Maybe just 30 years after anyone would have been like, I saw Vanilla Ice in concert. But
that's a bit of a brag.
Yeah. So they're, stuff's coming out, and like they just got like barricades on like forklifts driving out from the back of the field.
Did you offer to help?
And like, no, we were way up in the
I'm certified
section.
I'm certified, fellas. Let me hop in there.
Oh, for forklift driving.
Yeah, for forklift driving.
No, by the time I would have got down there to assist in any way, the thing would have been set up.
Why, are you really slow?
We were way up in the top.
Yeah, but are you like a really slow person? Is that why?
Sure. Anyways, as they're driving out, they get like not even all the way to their destination, and then there's something gets announced over the PA. Can't understand a word of it. And then everybody just starts booing.
They're like,
all the forklifts start driving back.
They're like, is anyone certified to drive forklift? We need all the help we can get.
Yeah,
and that ensued an enormous roaring boo from the crowd. So the crowd starts booing after the announcement of that you couldn't understand, and then
I personally couldn't understand it, but apparently other people could.
Apparently, a lot of other people could.
Driving back, and everybody else starts getting up and leaving.
I have an idea of what it might have been announced, but go ahead.
Yeah, I think everybody's getting there at this point. So I turned to somebody that was leaving. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Like, what did the guy even say? I couldn't hear it. And he said, the concert's not happening. It's canceled. I'm like, what the fuck? So we're like, guess it's canceled. I guess we're just leaving now. And then as we're leaving, and then on the big screen, they put up that the concert was canceled due to technical difficulties.
Not enough forklift drivers.
Anybody who like had purchased field level tickets were getting refunded, blah, blah, blah. So we're like, okay. So we go down, everybody stops to use the bathroom. And then one of the people we're with was like, my family's been texting me nonstop, asking me if I'm okay, because what actually happened wasn't a technical difficulty at all, but right after the game, just as all the forklifts and everything were coming out, somebody in a different part far away from us of the stadium decided to shoot somebody else.
No.
So that got the concert canceled, but of course they weren't going to say, concert canceled due to a shooting and ensue panic. They just decided technical difficulties, which, I mean, technically there was some difficulties.
Yeah, but
so somebody ruined all of our fun.
I'm sure anybody interested will look up and see what really happened. But for those for those that maybe don't, they're gonna maybe be upset with anyone involved with the concert as the reason for it not happening versus being upset with the the person who decided to shoot somebody.
Well, I mean, the news got out very quickly because later that, I think, was it the same night? Because that was Friday night. It was probably yesterday. My coworker texted me and asked me about the shooting because he knew I was at the game.
Yeah.
So it's not like the people there don't know what really happened. Everybody already kind of knew almost immediately.
But some people probably don't or didn't soon after.
Not at the time. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people right at the beginning had no idea, and probably found out either later that night or the next day or whatever. But
so was this just some
fairly quick?
This was just some street level, this wasn't some, because you said this was in some neighboring park or something, right?
No, it was somewhere else in the ballpark.
Oh my God.
Yeah, somebody shot somebody there at the stadium at a different part farther away from it. It was we were up in the 5th level and it happened down on the 1st level somewhere.
Wow.
And I think we were kind of off on the first baseline, and I think it happened more so somewhere between 3rd and home plate section, somewhere over there. But the crazy thing was that the person who told us about it had gotten texts from their family who weren't at the game. So they had found out about it prior to us even finding out about it, and we were there.
There had to have been some kind of breaking news that was broadcast about it. Yeah,
something got out quick. So, it was weird because we didn't the game was over, and I think it was maybe we only sat around for an extra 10, 15 minutes before everything said it's done, leave.
Well, first, did you find out, is the person okay? The person who got shot, or did they die? Do you know anything about anything like that?
I haven't looked into any of it. I'm just curious as to how somebody even got a freaking gun in, because they search, you have to empty all your pockets, and then you have to walk through metal detectors before you get in. So,
well, you can 3D print a working gun that's not made of metal, can't you?
Yeah, I don't foresee somebody that would go to a Sox game as being a 3D printer of a gun kind of a person.
Well, finally some excitement in Chicago.
I know, it's about time, right? Nothing ever happens here.
As long I'm just hoping the person's okay, but I'd be pissed if it's all the crowd had to sit through that awful game with the hope that their night would be brightened by this amazing performance.
Vanilla Ice concert, yeah. I mean,
yeah, and that got robbed. That got taken away from you all because of some scuffle.
Well, I mean, there was some A's fans there. I saw a few people wearing A's hats.
Of course,
so they at least got to enjoy the game.
I think that's probably the only team that has a full name that they just abbreviate.
The Oakland A's.
Yeah, no one goes the Seattle M's.
Yes. Oh, Mariners. I was thinking Seahawks. Yep.
Nope.
We're
talking about baseball.
Peas.
Yeah. Why go with A's? Just call yourself the A's then, and don't try to say that you're also the Athletics.
Well, it's a stupid name.
Besides, it's being a little presumptuous, don't you think?
That they're the Athletics out of everyone.
Yeah, we're the ones with athletic abilities. Mm-hmm. I mean, we just destroyed the Chicago White Sox.
They proved it on Friday.
Well, I was about to. Yep.
Well, I was gonna say because there was certain innings where I literally because one inning over, so one team's leaving the field, the other team's coming out to the field. And then they have about a minute before they'll start batting again.
They play one team at a time.
So there's about a minute of time period between once they're on the field before the batters will come out. There's like a clock will run and they'll just kind of throw balls around.
Yeah.
Stuff like
I've been
that
to games
for a little bit. I'm just describing it to people who maybe don't go to games. So literally like the A's come out, take the field, and the Sox are about to bat. I turn, I'm talking to people for a little while. And literally, like, what felt like I turned for 30 seconds, I turn back around, the Sox are coming out onto the field. Like,
wow.
It would just be that quickly, like, they'll just be out. Like, I'm like, how did I miss an entire inning? And then one time, I looked away and then looked back, and somehow the A's had scored 5 runs that I completely didn't see happen. I'm like, am I here?
I think you're not aware of how long you're not paying attention. Like, what are these?
That's the
chunks
thing.
of time?
Obviously, they're longer chunks of time than what they seemed to be, but it literally seemed like almost no time's passed, and all of a sudden, I'm like, I just missed 5 runs being scored somehow. Like, I think I literally only saw one person touch home plate the entire game, and while we were there, 6 different runs had been scored on the A's side and 1 on the Sox side, but I only saw one person touch home base the entire time I was there.
I think what happened was you attended a baseball game and you took several naps.
I possibly did just took waking naps during that time.
Did you get to enjoy a good old fashioned stadium dog?
I had a Polish sausage.
Hey, still good.
Yeah, it was $8.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. A bottle of water was, I don't even remember what the bottle of water was.
Probably $6
or $5 or $6. And then somebody bought me a Diet Coke at one point, which I think was $8.
I know.
It's ridiculous. And I specifically stopped because I meant to do it before I left work on Thursday, but I forgot. I was like, I'm going to cash out my expense report for the month. That way I just have some cash on me. So when we go to the game, we can use cash. We got there and they're like, oh no, we only take cards.
It's going there.
Cool.
I know.
I'm glad I wasted my time running and going and getting my expense report on my day off because I took Friday off. So I ran to work on my day off to go do that so that I would have cash, and then they don't take cash. So I'm like, awesome. So I still like, what a waste of time.
Yeah. Well, it's done though, right? The expense report.
Well, I could have waited because there's a possibility that I'm going to have one more day on this month.
Oh, well.
So I'm like, either I'll cash it out again or I'll just roll it into next month.
Roll it.
It was more so just irritating because when I went to go do it, there's a school right across the street from my job that was letting out at that exact time.
Sure.
So it took me almost 30 minutes to get to my job. That's on a typical day, 7 to 10 minutes away.
Did you get a good view?
Of what?
School getting out.
Yeah, I was in the middle of it. I literally couldn't turn. So I have to turn the road I turn onto, all the kids were crossing that street. So I literally
lucky you.
I was about 6 cars back in the turn lane, and I literally sat in the exact same spot for 3 light cycles straight. Like literally not moving, like not even 1 car length move up for 3 straight. I was literally stopped in one spot for 3 straight light cycles before I finally just got out of the turn lane and went up a couple extra streets and then came back around the long way.
Wow.
Because I'm like, I have not moved. So
can you name any White Sox players? Well, you were just there, so you might know some that they announced. Although I forgot you were sleeping the whole time.
No, I literally couldn't name one. Right, not even now. I literally almost paid no attention to the game whatsoever.
So you knew this. You knew that the concert was supposed to happen going into it, like before you got there.
Yeah.
Well, man, I was going to say that you heard a lot more Vanilla Ice recently than I did, but now I can say that I heard more Vanilla Ice in the last 48 hours than you did, most likely.
Have you?
Like 5 seconds of a song?
Oh, then I've probably still heard more than you recently. Because that night, as we're leaving the concert, because the concert wasn't happening, some bunch of people started playing Vanilla Ice songs out of their cars while we were leaving.
All right, so let me ask you this.
Oh.
What song or songs were you really looking forward to at the concert?
The only songs of his I can even think of are obviously Ice Ice Baby.
The Queen song.
Yep. And Ninja Rap. Like, name another Vanilla Ice song.
I'm trying to... there is another one that I remember knowing.
There's like a love song that he sings. It's awful, but I can't remember.
Yeah, those are the two. And I bet you he would have closed with Ice Ice Baby and possibly encored with Ninja Rap. Like, he's saving those to the end. He's not unloading that stuff at the beginning of the show. He knows.
You'd be surprised of what a band will do. Because do you ever hear the story? Did you ever hear the story when Iman went and saw Seven Dust?
No.
So it was a few years ago. They played at Pickle Park.
Okay.
You're familiar with Pickle Park?
No. Is that the one with the bean thing in it?
What?
Or is that what's Pickle Park? It's
in St. Paul, I believe. It's a little venue. We went there and saw
familiar.
that. Yeah. Josh's old band played there once when he was singing for that other band for a little while.
Oh yeah, Not One Stone.
Yep. And then we saw a Alice in Chains cover band play there once when we went there randomly after a wedding, because I think it was after Jim's wedding, because Jim didn't really have like a reception. So we all decided to hang out after that, and we ended up going to Pickle Park, and there was an Alice in Chains cover band playing that night.
When you say we, am I part of this?
You were there.
Okay. I remember hanging out after Jim's wedding, but I don't remember doing anything involving seeing a band.
Yeah, either way, Pickle Park is just it's a bar that has a stage and stuff, but it was just a small, weird venue for Seven Dust to play at. But they opened with what's their two biggest songs? It's Black and Denial. They opened with those two songs.
Wow.
Those are their two biggest hits, and those are the songs they opened with. So after that, she was just like, I can leave at any time.
I don't know.
She's like, I saw the two songs I was really hoping to see because they're the biggest
really
hits.
Bizarre.
Yeah. Like, you think you'd close with at least one of the, like, maybe open with one to get the crowd really going, but then close with the other.
That could be why they're playing Pickle Park and not something bigger.
I think it's just because they're just not as big as they used to be.
Now, I've never been a fan of Seven Dust. I don't know that I even am aware of knowing any of their songs. Like, you just named two songs, but I
think you'd recognize Denial and Black if you listened to them.
Okay. Well, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
No, I went and saw that Ninja Turtles movie.
Okay.
And of course, there was a moment where someone gets knocked into a car or something, or starts up a car, and you hear a little bit of Ninja Rap on the radio in the car. That was my exposure.
That's a nice little nod, though.
Yeah,
it's a little nostalgic nod.
The movie was all right. There wasn't a lot that really actually happened. There wasn't a lot story wise to the movie.
Okay.
But an interesting take on their origin and what Splinter is like. And the weirdest part was when the credits started rolling and they start naming off the people who voiced the characters, because it's all animated. Mm-hmm. There was some kind of gecko character that was like a mutant, and I don't know if he doesn't exist in the comics or any of the cartoon iterations or any other sort of Ninja Turtle form, be it other animated movies or shows or what have you. But it said introducing Paul Rudd as this character. And I thought that was a very odd thing to say, because we all are very well aware of Paul Rudd and have seen him in many things. So to say that he's being introduced in this movie was very bizarre to me. I'm sure they did it just as a joke, and maybe Paul Rudd was like, hey, it'd be funny if you said introducing me, because this is all Seth Rogen doing this. So I could see him being on board with something silly like that. But yeah, I
could see that.
Yeah, it was a fun movie, though. We saw it in 3D, and that always makes it a little bit cooler. And but yeah, just a very different take on all of it, really.
Was there still ooze involved?
There was still ooze, yes.
Okay.
That didn't change. But do you remember in the second movie that came out when we were lads, the one with Kino.
Yep.
Wasn't the company that made the ooze called TGRI?
I think so.
I remember being TGRI, and the company in this movie is just called TCRI, just a C instead of a G. And I when I saw that, I was thinking, am I remembering this incorrectly? Or did they make a weird change for some reason? I don't know.
Yeah, it's TGRI.
Yeah.
Because I just typed in TGRI, and then it came up with TGRI canister. So I clicked on that, and it's like, oh yeah, it's the canister from the movie.
Yeah, so I wonder why the change was made to name it TCRI in this movie. I have no idea. But yeah, you had a bunch of familiar characters if you know even the original animated cartoon that we watched when we were kids. But again, the whole thing was a little bit just a different sort of a take on Ninja Turtles in a small way. You know, what they're about and what they're capable of, I guess. But it was fun.
From the like ads I've seen for it, I don't know why, but Donatello's voice sounded so female to me.
They even Raphael's voice, they sound like kids, basically.
Yeah.
Either they sound like very young kids, which I guess if the turtles are supposed to be teenagers, that can make sense. But yeah, definitely a departure from what we're used to as far as hearing. Right. Like, they sound nothing like they did in the cartoon we watched, the movies that came out. I'll definitely, I think it's going to be hard to top that original Ninja Turtles movie, in my opinion, just because the age I was when it came out. But I mean, it was fun. I haven't seen every Ninja Turtle thing that has come out. There's plenty of animated shows and a whole list of movies and everything else that have come out that I've not seen. So I can't say what is the best one out of all of them, or I couldn't rank stuff. Right. But I think it'll be really hard to top that first movie.
Yeah, I think it's very iconic.
Yeah.
Like the puppeteering and stuff was just really good. I always, for some reason, when I think of that movie, though, I always just think of Splinter. For some reason, Splinter was just a pet rat that became
practice martial arts from his cage.
In the cage, and he's practicing martial arts. That little shot to me is always so funny. Like even as a kid, I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
because it looked ridiculous.
Well,
but yeah, that's part of that movie that I always thought was weird, because originally he was just a guy that got turned into a man rat.
So wasn't the whole isn't the whole idea that if you come into contact with this ooze, you become a mixture of whatever you are and the last living thing you touched? Is that kind of what it was?
I don't know, because that wouldn't make sense. That wouldn't make sense necessarily in the. Well, see, I don't know, because it's weird, because it seems like that's what happened to Splinter. That's what happened to like Bebop and Rocksteady.
Yeah,
but I don't think that's what happened to the Turtles. It seems like the Turtles were just turtles who then turned into turtle people.
Well, I guess in a way they all sort of become like a sort of humanized version of the animal.
Yeah, but for the other people, it made sense because they were humans that were mixed with an animal.
So Splinter in the outside of
the original movie. I'm talking more so the cartoon.
Yeah, so Splinter
I don't
was
know the comics. So Splinter was a dude. Start talking again so I can interrupt you.
Go on.
Oroku Saki. No, so go ahead.
I was going to ask. So in the original cartoon, Splinter was a guy first? Yeah. Okay. But in the movie, he was his pet. He was
in the movie. He was he was Shredder's pet.
No, he was Oroku Saki's pet.
Well, yeah. Before he became Shredder.
Wait a minute. Who are we talking about?
Oh wait, no, yeah. In the
Shredder was a mutant.
Yeah. Shredder killed Splinter's master, or
owner,
and that's what the narrative in the movie is. That makes sense. Okay, I remember that now.
Was it Makata Yoshi? No, what was
Oroku Saki?
Right, was his master, but what was Shredder's real name? What was Makoto Yoshi?
Idea.
I remember Splinter saying that at some point. Makoto Yoshi. I think that might have been Splinter or
Maybe.
Shredder's name.
Maybe.
Or maybe they're mixed up.
But
maybe it's
as
Naruto.
far as like the movie narrative, that all kind of follows the ooze touches an animal, the animal becomes like a humanoid version of that animal. That's how the movie narrative is, because that's how Toka and Razor were a wolf and a snapping turtle that then became monsters.
A large wolf and a large snapping turtle.
The turtles and the rat all just became, humanoid versions of their animals. As far as the cartoon is concerned, it was a human that became a rat mixed with a rat. Then it was humans that became mixed with a rhino and a warthog. But the turtles, I think, were just turtles.
So
still,
did Splinter, before he became Splinter, come into contact with a rat before he got mutant? Became a mutant?
I believe so.
Okay.
I don't know how in detail they go into that backstory in the cartoon. I think they just brush over it in the opening
sequence thing.
The opening musical sequence of the show. You see him transform from a person into a rat.
Yeah.
I remember that imagery, but I don't know how much they explained of like, oh, he was touching a rat and then touched the ooze at the same time. And
I bet in the pilot episode they go over it.
Maybe.
To some detail.
I'd have to watch it again.
Yeah, it's been so long.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one thing I always noticed about the very first episode of that went away. Just overall, the animation was more detailed in the very first like one or two episodes. But I know on the turtles' like nose area or whatever, there was like a line drawn down the center.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then that went away after like 2 episodes. I always noticed that as a kid.
I only know one kind of interesting fact about the cartoon.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Yeah, they made the reason they made all the foot soldiers into robots in the cartoon is so that the fight violence could be higher. Because they're destroying robots, they're not killing people.
Got it.
So that way they could, slice and dice and kill a bunch of robots. That's fine. You can't kill a bunch of people in a cartoon like that and keep it for kids. So I think the foot soldiers were, and as far as the comic and everything else from that going forward was concerned, we're all humans.
Sure.
Just the cartoon, they were robots so that the violence could be higher.
It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
just a weird little fun fact. I've heard that years and years ago.
Well, another thing goes for the second movie. They don't use any of their weapons in the second movie.
Oh.
Because parents complained about it being too violent for kids. And so, in that opening scene where they're in the toy store or whatever, Michelangelo swinging sausages at people instead of his nunchucks, and they're using like foam toys to beat up the foot soldiers. And it's just, it's so stupid. Especially a part where they're all caught in this net when Raph got captured, then they all get caught up in this net trying to save him or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yep, Leonardo has 2 gigantic swords he could cut the net open with, but nope, why use those? Let's just keep
Didn't they explain
stuck in
like
this
they couldn't reach him or something? I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something they said, but
yeah.
These should be pretty agile characters.
Another interesting thing I had heard, and this might have been just somebody's opinion. I don't know if this is necessarily like it makes sense that it was probably the reasoning behind it. But why each type, or why each of the each of the turtles, I don't have to say their full names, the full name of the show.
Yeah.
Why they have which weapons they have.
Go ahead. I don't think I've heard this.
All right. So Donatello is obviously the most like mechanically inclined, creates a bunch of different gadgets and things and all this different stuff. And he's just very smart. So he has a bow staff because it's the most rudimentary weapon.
Okay, sure.
To just kind of like balance him out.
Sure.
Raphael, the most hot-headed one of all, so he has the sais, which are a defensive weapon.
Okay, I was going to guess that he has the smallest weapon because
he has a weapon that's only for defense.
Got it.
Michelangelo.
I didn't know that about those.
Yeah, Michelangelo, he's kind of the craziest one. He's like, he's kind of all over the place. He's just kind of, not like a loose cannon in like the anger sense, but just kind of like, he's unpredictable.
Wild. He's a party animal.
So he has the weapon that takes the most
skill.
Well, yeah, you have
Or
to be
focus,
skilled
maybe?
and you have to focus on how you use nunchucks. And then Leonardo, he's the most calm and collected and the one who's going to always try to make the smart decision before turning to a violent decision. So he is the only one who actually has a weapon that can cause somebody physical death or harm.
Yeah, you're right. Leonardo's sword,
Yeah.
one swipe can easily kill somebody, whereas you can't really do that so easily with any of the others.
But he's the one who's going to think the most logically and make the smartest decision. So he's the only one who actually has a weapon that can harm somebody.
That makes sense if that's
not
true.
Not necessarily harm somebody, but could easily kill someone. All the weapons could kill somebody in the end, but
yeah, but it'd be much quicker and easier to kill someone with Leonardo's weapons.
I thought that was interesting. I had heard that somebody had talked about that, and I don't know if that is true, like story canon. That's like why each person has the weapon they have or whatever. But I'm like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah,
it's a good theory if it's not,
so
exactly.
I
truth.
mean, I don't know that the creators put that much thought into it when they came up with the comics. All I know is they were just huge fans of Daredevil and just made it basically very similar to Daredevil. And that's about it.
Yeah, I always meant to try to find the comics and actually read through them because I would be interested in actually reading them because I believe they're a lot darker than
that's what I've heard.
Kind of followed.
I wonder if you could find them like on Comixology or something like that.
I think you can find them like online and stuff, or find like comic book like reader versions of them, like digital copies of them.
Yeah, I would be interested to read
something of it a while back, but
I would be interested to read those as well. I mean, they all started off with red masks, right?
Yeah, I think I'd heard that.
Yeah, but they're like,
I think much harder to differentiate which one was which. And
well, once the cartoon was picked up, or was going to be made, they're like, we need to make these so you can easily tell them apart. So they got different colored masks, and I think that's when they got the letters on their belts with their first initials.
Yeah.
That part I'm just guessing on. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, that part after the different colors seems unnecessary.
Yeah, I know.
Like we personalized belt buckles.
So the movie itself, I watched it and there wasn't really much that made me chuckle or it was just sort of okay. Yeah, but there was one part where so there's this giant mutant thing stomping around the city. And he's throwing cars at the turtles. And one of the turtles just says to the other guys, he's got to run out of cars eventually. And then they show the big mutant thing, look over at a parking ramp that he's standing right next to. And they're just like, oh, come on. Like he's got an endless supply of cars pretty much over here. That was the only thing. It's just like one of those like completely, oh, he's going to run out of cars sometime. Look over, giant collection of cars right in front of him. So it was just
like a car dealership right next to it.
Yeah, pretty much. Might as well have been.
Or like there's like sections of cities for some reason that always have like multiple car lots. Like, you ever notice that? Like if they were in that part of a town where it's just this dealership, that dealership, that dealership. Yeah. Endless supply of ammo.
Yep.
Come at me, bro.
Come at me, bro.
Mutant would say.
He would say that.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I was not expecting us to talk about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for so long.
Me either. One thing else I'll say about the movie, a cool hour and 39 minutes.
Is that good?
They didn't feel necessary to stretch it to like a 2-hour minimum runtime, which seems like all movies are set to be 2 hours or more these days.
Yeah, I'm getting tired of the overly long movies.
Yeah, this got in and out. It was a good length. So I was pleased by that. And we were, the movie started at 7. We were a little worried because we got in about 5 after, and then we got in line for the concessions, and then we ordered some chicken strips, but that took a bit of time to cook. But I wasn't too worried because we sat down about 7:18, and the movie started about 7:20. So we skipped.
Wow.
Yeah, it was
about
20
minutes of previews.
Yep.
That's insanity.
So it's pretty bad these days.
So they did pad it out to a 2-hour runtime.
Yeah. And this was this was AMC, so of course I'm not sure when the last time you were at an AMC theater, but
it's been a while.
they always run this video where it's Nicole Kidman like walking through a theater talking about how AMC theaters make movies better and like movies.
Yeah.
Theaters are a magical place to escape and blah, 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 blah,
The
blah.
last time I went to an AMC theater was when you came out here and we went and saw The Rise of Skywalker.
I saw that out there.
You saw it the second time with me out there.
No,
You'd
I know.
already seen
Yeah.
it previously. Yeah.
No, I know, but I didn't remember that was out there and where you're at.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I was still living at the previous place at that point. Because
Yeah,
we went
great.
there because I had a bunch of like free ticket things, but for whatever reason I couldn't use them.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That was
I've
that was the plan, but it didn't work out.
I've got like a $50 AMC gift card that's I got for Father's Day, I think, and I just keep forgetting to use it or where it is. So yeah, I'm same.
Yeah,
thing.
I have like a pile of like 7 free movie ticket things that I just don't go to the movies. And there's no AMC theaters that are like super convenient for me to go to around here. I have to kind of get out a little ways to go to AMC theater. But
so do you live like next to a theater that's cool and shows like cool old classic movies at times?
No, unfortunately, there is a cool little theater just down the road from me, but they show. I think they only have like 3 movies they show at a time.
All right,
and it's usually movies that are happening right now. It's I think last time I had walked past it, they were showing like the new animated Spider-Man and like the new Indiana Jones movie, I think.
All right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Those are both newish. Possibly the
at
Flash.
that time. That was a few weeks ago, like about a month ago or so when I walked past it, and that's what they were showing, I believe.
All right. You know what else is near you?
Lots of stuff.
A card shop.
Yeah. I thought about going to it on Friday, and then I just ended up not doing anything.
Oh, goodness. So
I know. Yeah, we talked about that in like fucking episode single digit something. And no, I still have not gone and brought my baseball cards to the card shop to get them sold.
All right, then this weekend we're gonna do it. The 4 of us coming to see you are going to get you to go there. Yes.
Are we?
Yeah.
We'll see.
I will talk to the guys and we will make it a mission.
Well, it would have to be Saturday because it's the only day that they would be open while you guys are here.
That's fine. I'm sure it won't take long. It's not like we're eating up our whole day doing this, and it's not like we have stuff planned anyway that we have to work around.
Oh, we don't, do we?
No, we don't. Or do we?
Okay.
We do? I don't know anything about anything, so do we?
I don't know.
I didn't think so. I'm like, I don't think that there would be some...
I think we just have a few ideas of like, oh, we can maybe go here, we can maybe go there. Iman and I have been discussing.
Oh, so yeah. So you guys are cooking up
we might have
some
a couple
ideas
of places that we might go and do things at.
But there's nothing that's been planned.
Yeah, we
officially.
don't have like tickets purchased to go do or anything like that.
You're making it sound like you and everyone else involved have planned something and left me out of it or something. And
we have our own special little text thread that you're not a part of. And
I'm just gonna, not go with you guys.
Yeah. No, I think the only thing that I'm thinking so far is you guys get in probably you'll get in Friday evening-ish.
Yeah,
so you guys are heading out around 1-ish or so by the time you guys kind of probably get rolling.
That's what I figure will be around there.
Yeah. So we figured now, especially since you guys are going to be staying so close by, that's going to be great. We're just going to meet you guys at your Airbnb and we'll just hang out there for the night.
So you're going to have, I think I can text the host this as well, but you might have to help us out with like the whole, they said there's parking passes ready to go and there's stickers and like the next block over or something doesn't require stickers. There was a whole thing about parking that it was confusing to me.
Yeah, we'll have to see if that specific street has permit parking only. Then yeah, you guys might have to park on a different street.
Okay,
but there's plenty of streets around that that don't have permit parking that you should be able to find a spot on. So we'll figure it out.
All right. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the host said that there is a pass, like a permit, ready to go.
Yeah, I would message them just to be safe, just to make sure you guys are set for that and everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Later on, I can just say, I can tell you what it says, and you can go, oh yeah, it sounds like you're good to go, or oh yeah, it sounds like you'll need to park somewhere else. You'll probably be able to tell what it means.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at that street too, just to double check it. But
yeah, so for everyone listening that cares, I guess, we had booked like an Airbnb, and it was going to be like this bigger 3-bedroom place that was sort of close. We were all set to go. That was the cheapest thing we found that was reasonably sized. And then we got told that the booking got canceled because it was double booked. So then our friend Eric found another place, and it was a little bit more expensive. Could be maybe similar in size. And I forget if it was closer or further than the first place. I think it was
similar in location as well. It was about the same-ish distance.
Had that place all booked and ready to go. We're less than a week from heading out. And now we get told today, as at the day of this recording, which is Sunday the 27th?
7th.
Canceled because the previous guests had caused some sort of damage to the place. So we had to scramble just now to find something else. And we found a place that's conveniently a lot closer, but a little bit tighter.
A little bit tinier,
size.
But I think it was relatively priced close to the same as what you guys...
that and places around it were much more expensive. But instead of there being like 3 bedrooms, there's going to be 2 bedrooms. So one of the bedrooms has like bunk beds, and the other one has just like a sort of queen bed, and then there's a couch. So sleeping arrangements are going to be a little more cozy than maybe they would have been. But I don't care.
I think at this point, you guys, you found a good place, and it's super fucking close.
Yeah, and I looked at the picture of the dining table. The dining room has a table that has just 4 chairs on the long end or the long sides, so you could easily put a chair on the end, the head of the table, or the the ends. So you could easily sit 6, and so we can hang there and play any games that we want to play there.
So I think Friday night for sure, we're just going to come over. We'll probably just play some games, get some sort of food, and just kind of hang there for the night, since you guys have been driving all day.
Yeah.
It'll just be kind of a cool, chill night, and then Saturday we'll go out and about and do a few things. And
let's not plan for that first night to be, hey, let's get wild and drunk, because
no.
Well, I'm remembering one of the last times I was there, that Friday night I showed up, we were gonna drink and get crazy, and then we were all so tired that we didn't do anything.
The next day,
no, that night. I think we each opened a drink and didn't even finish them, and we were we were just sitting in the living room doing nothing. So if we are going to try to have like a more of a wild night, let's have it be that Saturday or Sunday night.
Yeah, so. No, I think Friday is just going to be like a chill. Let's play some games. If people drink, they drink. If they don't, they don't. Whatever. No, like plan, but just hang out, play some games, have some food, chill night. Yeah,
because most of us will have been working that morning.
Yeah, I figure it's not going to be like a super late night by any means.
No,
but yeah, we'll literally be able to just walk over to you guys and meet you there, which will be great.
That'll be sweet. Yeah. It's too bad that one place that I think Mark found was like 40 something minutes away, because that was huge.
Yeah, that would have been a bit more of a drive to do anything.
Yeah, and over Labor Day weekend, who knows how bad traffic would be.
Yeah, traffic in and out of Chicago is always shit anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it literally doesn't matter what day it is or what time of the day it is. It's just in and out of the city is always garbage. Plus, some of it has to do with the fact that there's a ton of road construction going on right now. But other than that, it's just bad anyway.
Yeah. I got stood up today.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I was just gonna meet someone at a coffee place. Okay. And that's all. We planned this on Thursday. I just picked a place and said 11 o'clock. Sure, they said. Then I got there and just waited. And then I said, hey, it looks like I said it was a place that really advertised like selling boba tea. So I'm like, hey, this place sells boba tea. I know. I'm not 100% sure they sell coffee. And then I just was waiting. And then there was no reply. And then I go, oh, yeah, it looks like they sell coffee. Waiting, no reply. I get to about 20 after 11. And I'm like, hey, let me know if you're on the way here. Otherwise, I'm just going to start heading home because I've been here for 20 minutes and I've had no reply from you. And then I went home and they still have not sent anything to me.
And it's been 6 hours.
It's been several hours. So, what do you do?
Yeah, maybe you'll get a random reply tomorrow. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, we'll see.
Was that today? Was that? Oh no. Yeah, was like later tonight.
Was Sunday on Sunday this week?
What if they thought it was 11 p.m.?
Oh yeah, then they're
when
closed.
All coffee shops are closed.
Yeah, so maybe when they said originally 10:30, that they meant 10:30 p.m.
Could be.
So that's what dating's like.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, dating this day and age seems awful.
I mean, yeah, it's largely like I compare it to applying for jobs. You just
constantly putting it out there over and over and over again, and just
well, you look at the list of requirements, and you're like,
right.
I don't really meet these high level demands,
right?
But submit your application anyway, and then you wait to see if you hear anything, and more often than not, you don't. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then you go through the interview process for a while, like, oh, what are your hobbies? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah,
and
well,
then,
that's part of it.
Yeah, yeah. But you go through the whole, it starts off as a virtual interview process nowadays.
Sometimes, yeah.
And then it sucks when it happens, but sometimes you go to the initial face-to-face interview, and for some reason the potential job that you're going for just doesn't even arrive, doesn't even show up to actually give you the face-to-face interview.
Yeah. Sometimes they do, and then they're like, man, I wish this was just a face interview. Like, I wish your face wasn't here.
Yeah, it was a single face interview.
No, I even had someone that we had a face-to-face interview, and then they said they wanted to have a second interview, and then texted me a day later and just said, oh, you know what? We've gone with another candidate.
I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna say.
But you're great. You're great. But
look, we really liked you.
Yeah.
But
your skills are impressive on paper. Didn't see them in action, but on paper they're good.
And we know you passed the physical. But
wait,
in my eyes, you passed the physical.
Why am I taking a physical of any kind?
I'm saying
for interview one. Oh, I see.
I'm saying visually you've passed the physical, as in they find you attractive. However,
you've met those qualifications.
Yep.
Gotcha.
However, we've decided to go with someone else.
Yeah. I'm like, all right, see you later.
On to the next one. The good thing I've been applying for jobs, a lot of jobs at the same time, and kind of flooding the market with my resume.
Oh yeah. Someone's going to bite.
Unless you're not into that.
Unless, yeah. Depends on what skills. It depends on what the job is looking for.
Right. Well, wow. So last episode we kept talking about jazz. Now comparing orgasms to jazz. This episode we're comparing dating to job applying.
Yeah,
just metaphors of life, man.
We just want everyone to be able to relate to us, not with us.
What I do enjoy though is that I don't think you would ever when going through somebody's profile on a dating app, I don't think now you would ever be able to look at somebody's profile, and if it said they were into jazz, that you wouldn't be able to think.
Yeah, that would be in the back of my mind.
Just the music.
Yeah. So what let's talk more about this jazz you're into.
Yeah, I heard you're into jazz. Like,
Is
yeah,
it-
I love jazz.
Oh, great. Are you loud when you jazz?
Wait, what?
Wait, never mind.
Well, no, I don't jazz. I just love jazz.
Got it. You never jazz. That's unfortunate.
I don't like the way you're wording it, but no.
But still no.
No, I just enjoy it. I like to go to jazz clubs.
All right, this is Matt trying to use jokes that he didn't think of last week in this episode.
No. I'm sure we said jazz club last time.
I don't remember.
It's just me being the other person who doesn't get the joke.
Got it. Hey, so what do you got for us this episode, Matt? What are we going to talk about?
I don't know, Sean. We're an hour and 4 minutes in.
All right, let's call it.
Now you want me to fucking bring content? We talked about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for like 30 fucking minutes.
Let's get into the hot and heavy substance of this episode. All right, now we're done.
I can read you a story if you'd like. Okay.
No, I don't want a story.
I brought it. I offered.
This
fine.
It'd be such an unbalanced episode.
You think it's balanced otherwise?
I think it's
everything naturally led to everything else.
I think it's balanced in that the part of the teeter-totter that is sat upon, that's usually on some sort of fulcrum. Is that the right term?
Sure.
The fulcrum is gone, and it's just ground level.
It's just a board sitting on the ground.
Yeah, there's no rise and fall. There's no peaks and valleys. It's just a flat
just
ground
a very
level,
stagnant.
Yeah. So if we get into anything interesting, if we get into anything interesting now, it's just going to like really tip it over, and it's not going to be. So
this is like the salt flats of an episode.
Yeah, it's the Dead Sea.
That's an actual sea.
I know.
Okay. Is it just very calm?
It's calm and salty. Very calm and salty.
That's how I like to be described.
All right, then. Well, I guess
never want to be described any other way than calm and salty, ladies.
Yeah, so ladies, start describing Matt because you don't know.
Put that on your dating profile, Sean. I'm calm and salty.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Which
one? So wait a minute.
When I jazz, it's calm and salty.
I don't think that you would want that to be calm.
You don't want your jazz to be calm?
Well, I don't think that anyone would want me to be calm during that.
I think it would be super awkward.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. Okay.
You know what I mean?
I don't think anybody, I don't think the female or the male or whoever in, or in other configurations would want the other person to be calm. Like if you're having sex with a woman and then she's just sitting there, like, just kind of like, yeah, this is good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I came.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. You know just what to do to me. You know just what to do to me.
That was some of the best sex I've ever had. It was really good.
Wow, we should
was it though? Like what?
Yeah, it was.
And she's just trying to reassure you. No, it was amazing.
No, that's too much, Matt.
That was the hardest I had ever come my entire life.
No, that was too convincing.
That's too convincing.
The way you said that just now, too convincing. You got to be like, no, it was hardest ever came. Hardest I've ever come my whole life.
Yeah, no, it was like
no one's better than you.
Throw some sighs in there because she's exhausted, not because she didn't enjoy it.
But it sounds like
it was. No, it was really good.
it was wonderful. I mean, you're like you're
like when you flipped me over, and you were just really, really pounding me.
Yeah, like when you like slowly turned me over, like so calmly.
Yeah, like when you asked to switch positions, and I just took my time and got where I needed to be, and you proceeded to do that. Really, I mean, you were jackhammering me, and it was I know I didn't break a sweat, but trust me.
You want to get some Funyuns?
It was like I am hungry now because I came so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you don't believe me. It would be hard to believe somebody that came out of it like that.
I think the perfect couple would be both people that are like that. And the other person's like,
Both
yeah, I
people-
know.
wow, that was
Me too.
Mm.
Me too. Like,
Well,
it was so incredible.
the problem is
I'm on cloud 9.
I'm
sorry.
It's really hard for a guy to fake an orgasm.
Depends. I mean, let's say they've wrapped it up. You could just say, you could be like, oh, wow. I
But
totally
like,
did.
in the sense of two calm people. then you're not like, faking it. You're just like, yeah, I can't. I also came.
Wait,
What if they're calm but also bashful too? When they it's like, I also came. You can't look them in the eye. It's like,
no, they
it
just
just
can't even
seems more like a lie.
They can't even bring themselves to say it. They're like, yeah, no, I also did that. I did what you did.
Yeah,
we both did that thing
in the exact same way.
Same time. We timed it.
She's like, but I don't see any semen. Just like, mine was internal, like yours.
Yeah, yeah.
I came on the inside. I sucked it back in.
I have the switch. I have a switch on me.
It's this weird medical condition that.
Yeah, I was in a horrible farming accident, and now
internal ejaculate.
Now I'm part shop vac.
Yeah, it was the only way they could make it work still.
Yeah, and boy, did it work. Boy, did it work. Boy, howdy. I mean, all right.
What? Well,
that's great.
Just end this episode like a calm orgasm.
Yeah, I would define this. I would describe this episode as like a deflating balloon.
Well,
anyway,
see you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
Splinter was a dude